Hello everyone, my name is Fayez Adam and I serve as Project Manager for Team Health Informatics. Today we'll be presenting to you the final presentation for the CDC Post-Discharge Stroke Patient Data Reporting app. We'll have a project update, an architectural refresher, and then we'll have an exciting demo for you at the end. So our team consists of myself, Fayez Adam, Gurpreet Singh, Anirudh Sadi, and Vin Nguyen. So for our project status, we finished everything on track. I've listed here our high-level enhancements. The first half of the project kind of consisted of gathering the data for our application. The second half was using that data to form surveys and conduct the survey and save that information to our FHIR resources. As you can see, we've completed all of our tasks and we are ready to deliver and hand off to the CDC. But during our project timeline, we came across a few enhancements and minor issues, which we've logged into GitHub, and we will be passing that over to our organizational mentor and the CDC team. Here's our Gantt chart update. You can see that we have the team progress reports and presentations here in green. We're in our last deliverable. Another highlight is the demo that we had last week, where we got some really valuable feedback and were able to fit some of their suggestions into the final deliverable. So research and innovation, we researched a bunch of different components, mostly related to the HAPI FHIR API to serialize and deserialize FHIR resources, in addition to other components that helped with their development. For innovation, some of the innovative things we worked on for our app was being able to dynamically form a UI based on a questionnaire FHIR resource, as well as creating an asynchronous trigger service to continuously pull specific data out of FHIR. Our architectural diagram hasn't changed much. We still have our two main components, the trigger service and the stroke service, both communicating with the FHIR service and saving stuff to our app database and hosting a web application. So before we get into our demo, I just wanted to do a refresh of the goal of our app. It's to efficiently collect useful data about stroke patients once they've been discharged and transitions to their next care setting. And the goal of this is to help improve their quality of life and prevent their readmission to the hospital. So with that, I'll pass it on to Anirudh for the demo.
Thank you, Fayaz. So our stroke app resides on port 8888. I'm going to navigate to our localhost 8888, which brings us to the admin. So our admin allows us to enter or upload the post-discharge survey. So as you see, we already have a questionnaire which can be deleted, and I can upload a questionnaire again. So this is the functionality for the admin. This questionnaire is used by the survey admins to create responses for the follow-up. And we plan to extend the functionality of the admin to support multiple questionnaire files, as well as manage survey admins and destinations for their patients. So once we have the survey uploaded, a server administrator can log in to see which patients they need to survey and actually perform the survey. We have created some survey admins assigned to different post-discharge facilities. So we're going to log in as Nurse Jane, which brings us to the home screen. So this is our home page, which lists all patients assigned to Nurse Jane to complete the questionnaire 30 days after they've been discharged for a stroke encounter. These patients are retrieved by our trigger service, which we talked about earlier, which will query the FHIR service asynchronously to determine if a patient has been discharged after being hospitalized for a stroke based on known ICD-10 codes. After retrieval, they are loaded into our applications database, which is where we are retrieving all this data for the UI. So the patient list is sortable on the first name of a patient or the day since discharge. The red indicates that it has been past 30 days since the patient has been discharged and it is time for them to complete a questionnaire. The questionnaire column shows a link to the questionnaire for those whose questionnaire hasn't been completed yet, and the response shows the response ID of the questionnaire response which was completed for that particular patient. So let's go ahead now and fill out a questionnaire for Clark Kent. So once we click on that ID, this brings us to our key innovation, which generates the questionnaire UI form dynamically from a FHIR standard JSON questionnaire resource. So from the information which we have about the patient, we had a few requirements to pre-populate the data, which is the discharge date and the admission date. Now you can change, you can also look at different key features such as nested questions within our questionnaire. For example, when you click on yes for the tobacco, you have its nested questions within which are displayed. If it is a no, you don't see them anymore. Similarly, we also have a slider control for blood pressure, and this is used to record their blood pressures, and the slider is also one of the type for the questions. And we also have a discharge, a date time field, which brings up a calendar for the user to select a particular date. So all these elements are built dynamically, and they're based on the question type according to the FHIR standard. So when we say dynamic, we mean that you can change the base questionnaire following the FHIR standard and upload it to the app without having to rebuild the application, and the app will render that JSON file and bring up a new questionnaire form for you. So once we have some questionnaire fields populated, we can submit this response, and this will save it locally in our app database and also push it as a new resource to the FHIR service. So you can either cancel and go back to the home page or submit it. So I'm going to submit it for now. This also brings us to the home page, but now you see that Clark Kent also has a response ID. This response ID is generated by the FHIR resource when FHIR service when the questionnaire resource has been submitted. Now, I'm going to copy this response ID here. Our FHIR service resides on port 9080. I'm going to do a get call on this new questionnaire response, which we just submitted, to see what we have. And that indicates that we've just submitted a response. So we have the capability of pushing data to FHIR also. Finally, our app also shows a preview for these responses. Once you click on the response ID, it just brings up a preview. You can look at what the response was. You can look at all the different questions and objects within it. And this response can also be downloaded as a CSV or as a JSON. So I'm going to quickly do a download with CSV, and this is our submitted response. So this is helpful for survey administrators to report or share data with external organizations. Here we see the questionnaire formatted as a CSV like I just showed. And thank you for watching the video. Bye.
All right, thanks, Anirudh. And with that, I'd like to thank you guys for listening, and specifically thank our professor, Dr. Mark Bronstein, our TAs, Tia and Kelly, and our OM, Arun. This was a really great learning experience, and we had a lot of fun. So, thanks.